welcome back to Concept Wellbeing, the podcast where the intention is well. Welcome back, everyone. If you're new, hey, nice to meet you. We're going to kick it off. Yeah, we appreciate you. We're in good spirits today, I feel like. Would you like to kick it off with our grateful moment?
Sure. So
Okay.
I think I'm so grateful for, I think, for being able to have peace this week.
Ooh.
Even though it's been crazy, like traveling and getting to another state and having to work here, I have me time, right? At like every night I can come to my little hotel room. It's just me. I don't have to deal with other people or anything like that. So I'm grateful. The other thing I have to say is flying here was kind of shady. And I was like, Mr. Pilot, are you brand new? Should I teach you how to fly the plane? And I don't know how to fly the plane. This man was legit, Jade. If I like when he was descending, I was on the freaking tower chair. And when he was like in the air, it was like swaying side to side. And I was like, dude, I never get motion sickness on a plane, but where's the barf bag in case I need it? The funny thing was, I opened up, so I always sit by the window. I opened up the window shade, and Jade, I will have to show you the photo, okay? So I'm like looking at the ground, like, get me on the freaking ground. I'm closing my eyes and like inhaling and exhaling and taking deep breaths. And then I was like, oh my God, just get me on the ground. So then I look out the window. There's a freaking rainbow in the
Aw,
clouds.
well, that's lovely.
And yes, I'll have to send you the photo. And it's weird because there's actually like there's the plane, there's like the shadow of the plane in the clouds, and there's an exact circle rainbow around it. And I was like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm grateful
Yeah,
God's out here reassuring me it's all gonna be good.
for sure. No one
But
dies after they see a rainbow. That's like not the way that goes normally, probably.
exactly.
That's not a bad omen. That's the universe telling you it's gonna be fine. Okay. You're a rainbow, that's a special time. So yeah, send me the photo. I want to see it.
Exactly. I'll have to send it to you. But that is what I'm grateful for. What about you, Jade? What has been good this week?
That is a good question. What am I grateful for? Let me think deeply. I think today, especially, I'm grateful for my health because yesterday I was not feeling great. I was feeling kind of like, ugh, like I was really dragging myself. I should have called out sick yesterday because I was really just like dragging myself. But today I woke up and I just appreciated like just feeling good and not feeling like I need to like hold on to, oh wow. Aileen just sent me the photo of the rainbow. That is for sure. It is definitely a rainbow in a circle, which is also the logo for our brand. So look at that. Yeah. Beautiful. Stunning.
It's
Yeah,
fine,
no,
Jade.
you were
It's
not gonna
fine.
die. Yeah, so I woke up and I felt so much better. Sometimes you just need to go to sleep. Sometimes you just have to take a shower and go to sleep. That's what my mom always recommends whenever I'm feeling bad. She's like, just go take a shower and go to sleep. So that's what I'm feeling grateful for. That's my grateful moment. I would say I'm grateful for this strong Wi-Fi connection, but can't because it has really been dog walking me all day with this storm. So that is my grateful moment. I'm grateful for you sending me the rainbow, and I'm grateful for my health because I woke up today feeling very nice and rejuvenated after going to sleep yesterday promptly at like 9 p.m. And I woke up and I was like, wow, what a beautiful stormy day. I should have called out today. So that was my moment. That was it.
Okay, that's
Yes.
good. That's good.
Yeah. Are you ready to move into our topic?
Yes. I think this
Okay.
is so great. I'm excited for it.
No, I'm literally buzzing, like absolutely, because I'm like, I feel like this is gonna be a riveting conversation. But I was also this morning I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, Jade, what NDAs did you sign? Like, don't don't overstep on the NDAs, but it'll be
Yes,
fine.
don't
Whatever,
overstep
you
on
know.
those.
Yeah, there's a couple of instances that I'm gonna have to skip on over, but today we're gonna be talking about mental health in the workplace, and what a better way to kick it off than Aileen? Does your workplace have a like mental health or like a wellness program to support you?
They offer stuff like Headspace and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
but let's be honest, I downloaded it. I don't really use it,
Mm-hmm.
and they offer like different things, but I haven't really gotten involved with it really. So I should do better at that. But I would have to say my current job, my team is fantastic.
Lovely.
So they are, I think I'm in the mentality of like always working and getting stuff done and oh, this needs to get done. It had to be done yesterday. But my team is so good at like having work-life balance, right? Like if I have to fly somewhere on a Friday and I miss some of my weekend, it's like known to the team, like take it off when you can. It's not a big deal during
Beautiful.
the week, right? And they're very flexible and things like that. And I'm like, I need to start, utilizing it. Also, we have unlimited freaking vacation.
You have unlimited
So,
PTO?
yes.
Aileen, that is something, I'm sorry, that's something that you start off with. Like,
Yeah, so I think the company has really, I mean, I think there's a plus side and a downside. I think since I have unlimited, like I'm not forced to use it, right?
yeah,
Versus if you have like, I remember at a last company I was at, you can only accrue like 160 hours and
yeah.
then you stop accruing. So you're like forced to take a vacation
Hmm.
versus in other places, like you're not. So it's kind of interesting. And I was like, okay, whatever.
How much? Okay, so we're in March right now. How much PTO have you taken?
This year, none.
See, Aileen, that's how they get you with the unlimited PTO because
I
you're
know.
like, that's literally a thing. And they just like some people just don't use it. And so like they get their look back because they're like, oh yeah, you have unlimited PTO. It's not my fault that you didn't use it. Me, on the other hand, so glad that you asked. I just got unlimited PTO. I just switched positions and like at the beginning of January, right? And all my life I've wanted unlimited PTO. And I was like, literally they told me I have unlimited PTO because the previous company that I was with, they didn't have it. But like people, because I am like a consultant, basically there's like different consultants from different companies and they had unlimited PTO. And the way that I was so jelly of them, and I'm like, you have an unlimited PTO, and they never took it. I'm like, why are you always here? Like, what's going on? And so I got unlimited PTO, and I was like, I'm finna show you how it's done because I really feel like I need to be up to date with like countries that really, care about their workers' mental health. And listen, America is, I'm not even gonna get started, but I think we all can agree America works very hard and we don't take a lot of breaks. So when I got unlimited PTO, I promised myself, I said, Jade, listen, you will take 5 weeks of PTO because that's normal in other countries, okay? The little 10-day vacations that they be giving us in America is crazy. First of all, 10 days, what is that supposed to do with, like, it literally takes me like 7 days to settle down. And then you get 2 days. No, 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 no. So I'm taking 5 weeks. This was my goal when I got the unlimited PTO. And wouldn't you believe I already scheduled 5 weeks of vacation time and it's only March? I said, oh, well, and I'm doing it for my mental health. And you know what?
Good for
I feel
you.
like it's needed because, and I take, whenever I don't feel well, I usually try to take like a mental health day as well, um, like once a month, which also TMI, but like, usually lines up with like my time of the month. But really, I'm doing everyone else a favor because I'm like, you don't want to talk to me during that time. Like, let me help you by ghosting y'all for one day, just so, I'm in good spirits. And I feel like that allows me to show up in good spirits. If I showed up when I didn't want to, I'm gonna come there with a bad attitude and it's gonna upset everyone. So I feel like taking a vacation is so important for everyone's mental health because you don't want to be sitting around a person that's just sad. So Aileen, this is me telling you you need to take 5 weeks of vacation. I mean it so
You're
much.
right. You're
You got
right.
to.
I have 1 week scheduled, but that's not enough, right? And it's not
Mm-hmm.
till June. And then, so I just need to plan it out better and take, the problem is like, I don't have a vacation planned yet, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
really, that's where I was like, I have one planned in June, but that's it. So I'm going to take off a week and then the rest of it, like, I need to figure out stuff to do, but also just like plan days. But I also feel like I'm new in this position. I've been here less than a year. So it's like I'm trying to catch up and learn everything. And so that's why I feel like sometimes I'm like, I could like I could use a mental health day, but am I working that hard? No. Like,
Aileen, you're working hard
but
enough.
exactly. You're right. You're right. So I'm gonna schedule more vacation.
You should. And let me tell you, you don't have to have like a vacation plan to go somewhere. Like I scheduled like 2 weeks in September because that's when I usually get tired. Like I know, like I've been paying attention to like how like my body like feels during like certain times of the year. And for some reason, and I think it's because this is really corny, but like I'm used to like having like 3 months off for summertime. And then like,
Mm.
so because I'm like working during that time, I don't know, like something about like September, I just like, ugh, I just like worked in the heat. Like I'm like mentally exhausted. And so I scheduled 2 weeks off in September and I don't have like a trip planned. I just like plan on like recouping my energy during that time. If I go on a trip, that's great. But like, I plan it as like a staycation because I just know that I need to recoup and that's when I get tired. So don't
I
feel like
love
you have
that.
to. Yeah. So
So does
that
your company offer anything else for mental health?
that is a great question. So they do have like the EAP program, I think, but and my last company. Okay, so backstory. This is the tea. This is the this is
Tell
the
me, tell
episode
me.
right here. Okay, so I didn't know what like an EAP program was, which stands for what? Employee Assistance Program.
Assistance program?
Yes, and that's usually where you can find like mental health related information. And so in my last job, they had an EAP program as well. And that's where I found my therapist, Tiana, who I love dearly. And she's my ride or die. And she's the only reason why I am the way that I am, because if not, I would be an absolute terror. So everyone say thank you to Tiana. So I found Tiana through that program. The reason why I needed to look in the EAP program was because of that job though. So like the reason why I needed therapy was because of the job. So that's the tea on that. And then ever since then, I've been in therapy. So this new position that I'm at, they do have an EAP program, but like my therapist goes through like insurance now, whereas like before it was different. But yeah, I thought it was so fascinating because have you ever done an exit interview? Like when you leave a position?
Once, but it was a joke. Once.
Why was it a joke?
I just, I really dislike when certain people put other people above others. And so when the HR person came to me and was like, "Oh, we don't do an interview for just anybody, only like the people we really value."
That's
I
whack.
was like, "Sit down. Like, who do you think you are? You should be doing an exit interview for everyone at this company and figure out why they're leaving." So
Yeah,
I was like, that rubbed me the wrong way. She asked me stupid questions that I was like, "You're not even asking questions that would like lead me to tell you the issues with the company." So anyway, I thought it was a joke, and she asked me like three questions, and that was it. And I was like, "This is dumb." And I walked
got
out.
it. Okay. Well, I've done a couple of exit interviews in my day, and the last one that I did, in my head, I was like, oh, I don't even care. Like, it's not even going to be like a thing. I'm just going to do the exit interview and then I'm going to leave. But then the lady started asking me these questions, and I simply had to roast them. Like I had to. I was like, the reason why, and this was something that I said during the exit interview. I was like, the thing is, like, I appreciate y'all offering the EAP program, but you guys are the reason why I need therapy. And I also think it's like so hypocritical of y'all to sit here and like oh, we care about your mental health and your well-being, take a self-care day. That's fine that you offer that, but then it's like your leadership is ruining my mental health. Like it's like you're the reason why I need mental health. So like really sit there and evaluate like what y'all are doing. You're giving me one message, but then your actions don't line up with the other thing. And the HR lady, she was like, you know what, I feel you. And I was like, you hate it too. That
Okay.
place. Do you know how toxic a place has to be for the HR lady to agree? Like, and she's like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's really not great for like your mental health to be doing that. And I'm like, I know, like, it doesn't make any sense that leadership is, you know what? I won't speak for all leadership, but my leadership was so gung ho to like, at whatever time I need to be able to talk to you, not good for work life balance. I need to be able to shut off. And that was a problem for me. I also realized during that time I was not built for being like a consultant for a bunch of different companies at the same time because I need to be able to focus on one. So that wasn't good for my mental health. And like I feel like they should ask you your sign when you interview for places because they would have known like, oh, I'm a Taurus. She doesn't like all this change. Like I need to have a set schedule and be able to like work within that versus like every day, Jade, I need you to go here. First of all, that's not gonna work for me because I was planning on having sweet green somewhere else. You feel me? Like you're ruining my day. You're messing up my mental health. And so that was what I told them. I was like, I think it's really hypocritical of y'all to sit here and offer an EAP program and be the most toxic work environment that I've ever been in and not even get on like the microaggressions that I had to experience like working for them. Like it was like trash. So that's what I told him. And I felt really good about it. And everyone's always like, don't burn a bridge. Don't burn your bridge. Do you believe in burning bridges, Aileen? Be honest.
It depends.
What does it
It
depend on?
depends. I think if it's a company that I think I would go back to, I wouldn't want to burn the bridge versus another company that I know I will never go back to. I'm like, I don't want this. But I also know in the industry I work in, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone. You're all interconnected somehow. You burn a bridge or you do something and people start talking, right? But I think you nailed it right on the head is they preach one thing and you're expected to do something else, right? And I'll tell you at my last job, I went from, I guess, backstory for me and Jade. Like we both started out, we both graduated college the same day. We both went to the
Together.
same internship.
Wait,
I
Aileen,
know.
go ahead and backtrack on him real fast. We graduated together. I offered Aileen tequila out of a plastic water bottle. She said no. She's like, I'm good. I feel like I fell asleep on your arm during graduation because it was like the heat was on my forehead. But whatever, we ball. Anyways, continue.
That's
I still
cool. We
graduated.
made it. You graduated. We both went to the same internship. It was so cute. Jade and I, Jade and I didn't really know each other very well. Like, the first time we actually really hung out was on graduation day, okay? Where
Yeah.
she offered me the tequila. Then, then we I remember I was like, oh, like we're both going to the same internship. Like, give me your number. So we texted each other, like, okay, well, we're gonna show up at this time and we'll walk in together. And she's like, okay. So we get there and Jade and I have the same exact freaking outfit on, except our
So cute.
shirts were different colors, but they had the same freaking pattern on them.
We're so cute.
It's okay. It was
Iconic.
cute. And then Jade and I, like, we had excuse me, we had the same um internship, right? We had different bosses and things, and it was crazy, like to go through. We started out together and then we got separated.
Yeah.
And I remember I don't even know got through that, okay? Like, we used to all joke and say, I'm on cube arrest because I was not allowed to leave the cubicle. I had so much crap to do. And like, my boss would be like, where the hell are you? Versus Jade was out here living her best life, riding rides, eating churros. It's like,
Oh
Aileen, you
man.
want me to bring you back a churro?
When
And
I
I was
tell
like,
you,
F you guys. Like, I
I was
want to be
living
out
my
there
best
too.
life. Okay. And when I tell you, every time I interview and people ask me about that specific like job, they're like, what'd you do? I'm like, I just like ate a lot of churros. And it gets them every time. They're like, oh my God, she's so funny. She can make a joke during the interview. I'm so serious. That is, I ate a lot of churros, a lot of churros. And like, I feel like, do they have turkey legs there too? I don't know, but I was eating it up. Oh, I was living my life.
You're living your best
I
life with the rest of
was.
the interns. And I was on cube arrest. But anyway, I think every company, and I would say that I've been at least, I don't want to speak for you, is they offer you all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's completely opposite, right? So I went from having like, after that, like Jade moved on to another job. I stayed there for a few years and it was pretty chill. Like once I got the hang of it, I was chilling. Like I met the people I needed to support. Yeah, there's rough days here and there because I was learning how to navigate a boss that was difficult. And also it was like my first corporate job, right? So I didn't really know what to do. I had to learn how to build relationships and establish myself. So it was pretty chill. Like after I got the hang of it, I was like, this is chill. Definitely have work-life balance there, 100%. But when I left there, so due to COVID, right, shut down, all this stuff, I need a new job. So I found another job and it was in the medical device industry. So I went from having a boss that would tell me what to do to all of a sudden, here, Eileen, you make the rules. And I was like, holy crap, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, as my mentor would say, take it till you make it, right? So there, I was working, Jade, like I would so much, like I would get there, I would work, everyone would leave, I was still freaking there. Then I would go home, make dinner or whatever, and I would continue to work because they were like so behind in everything. And I remember when I first got there, my boss was like, "Oh, they have like over 300 kappas, and we need to close them because they're going through an ISO certification." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "What the hell? Like, I
Yeah,
just
whatever
got
that
here, and you have
means.
like,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah, they had like a bunch of action items I had to close. I didn't even know the state of the site. My boss was pushing something, and I was like, dude, this isn't going to happen. They're not ready to be certified and all this stuff. Anyway, we got through that, right? The thing that set me off was I went through a whole transition. Like I was at one company after being there a month. Let me tell you how much stress I had, okay? After being there a month, they told me, "Oh, we sold the company. You're going with the sale." So, excuse me?
Mm.
What does that mean? Like, I had no idea what the hell was going on. And that Friday, when they told me, my old job called me back. Hey, you want to come back? I was like, what the hell? So this is where I really learned how to go with intuition because I was like, I don't know what the hell am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go back to my comfort zone? Am I supposed to stay here? What the hell am I supposed to be doing? Anyway, I decided to stay and was there, went through the change. We became our own company, whatever. And the hard thing was like I was trying to help them. I was working so much, didn't understand work-life balance. My boss was always like, "Go home, it's fine, blah 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 blah." We'd talk every day. I thought we were cool, but let me tell you, the thing that set me off and that I knew I needed a new job.
Tell us.
So, mind you, I was this job was in Northern California. My family lives in Southern California, okay? So, I wanted to go home for the holidays. Okay. Did not think it was that big of a deal to say, hey, I'm going to go home for Christmas. I want to work from home the weekend between Christmas and New Year's.
That is a
Is that okay?
understand. Yeah, that is a solid request. Makes sense to me. Who
Okay.
really works in corporate America? No one's working during that time anyway. Let's be honest.
Thank you, Jade. Also, I'm still saying I can work from home. I can work on like documents and stuff that I needed to work on. I'm not saying I'm going to take the full time off, right? So I got told no because two other people that were part of the leadership team had requested the time off. I was like, excuse me, I don't support operation. I am a support function to you. I do, it's not
Question: did
necessary
you have
for me to be
unlimited
there.
PTO during this time, or did you have accrued PTO?
I had accrued PTO.
Okay, but you had hours, like you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I had hours, but said I can work from home. I knew that select people would work from home. So I was like, I, I'm here all the time. This is my one request. I love the holidays. I want to spend them with my family. When I got told no, I couldn't do that, it pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the day I said, I no longer want to work here. Because if you can't value and allow me to go home, because two other people that are unrelated to anything I do have already requested it, so I can't. So this is unacceptable. It does not make sense. And to me, I was like, I put in all this effort, all this time, and I was like, why?
They don't care.
Why? If they don't care. They're not going to meet me halfway and say, yeah, Aileen, that's fine. So at that moment, Jade, I knew I have to get the hell out of here. Because I was like, why the hell am I working so much? Why I want to be down there, not up here. And the fact that you can't help me with that or be flexible about it, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Right? And there's no like justification. And I would tell you one thing. If my boss would have came to me and said, you know what, Aileen, some of the members of the leadership team are going to be off. I really want to empower the people that are in the operation to be here during that week because they have to work. And would you mind coming in? I would have had a different outlook. But because of the way he phrased it and said, these two people are out and I need you to be here, I was like, it pissed me off. I was like, really, dude? You know I'm not from here. You know my family is down there. That honestly, I was like, I'm done. And that's the day I remember I started looking for jobs.
Period.
And it goes back to you, yeah. And it goes back to you saying though, like they preach one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but then when it comes down to it, they don't care.
Yeah. And then
And that's when
you
I was
feel
like, I
crazy.
need work-life balance.
Yeah, you feel crazy
Yes,
for being like, I'm sorry, did I misunderstand? Did y'all not sit here and tell me XYZ? And then now when it's time to like back it up, now it's like, oh, no, 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 we can't do that. That's crazy. Like, no, you need to be
yes,
here. You need to be here to do what? What are we talking about here? I that would have also upset me too, because it'd be little things like that where like it's just like you've done so much. Like you work, and I've always said this, like I always say this to my clients because of the field that I work in, is like they can always replace you. You only get you get one life, you get one body. You need to take care of it for you. These people, they can replace you as faster than you even think they can. So live your life. That's the way I feel about it. I
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I think it's important. And I think we're not taught that.
No.
We're taught go to work, go find a job, work as hard as you can, don't leave until your boss leaves, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then like we get there and we're like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't want to live my life like this. So this is the one thing I put up boundaries, Jade.
Oh.
When I left there, I told myself, Jade, I was like, I need a job that gives me work-life balance. And I put up boundaries. And I remember going from where we were, my boss used to make people cry. She used to talk down to people. She used to do all this stuff. I always told myself, she's not gonna make me cry. I'm not gonna do this and all this stuff. So when I moved, and the funny thing was, like, I told my boss, the one that didn't let me have the PTO, I straight out told him in a conversation. I said, listen, I had a bad boss in the past. She used to yell at people. She used to make people cry. She used to do this. And I also knew he would yell at people in front of people. Like, and I said, that's unacceptable. If you have a problem with me, you take me into your office, you respect me, you talk to me like a normal human being. You are not my parent. You cannot yell at me. And I told him this in a casual conversation once. I said, the moment someone yells at me, I'm gone. He never, ever, ever yelled at me. He raised his voice to other people. He yelled at other people in front of everyone. Never did it to me, ever, because he knew I would be gone.
And that's on
And
boundaries.
everywhere, yeah. And now I'm very clear. Like, I will tell my boss something like, you do this, I'm out. This is my boundary, right?
Hmm.
Because if you don't communicate it, they don't know,
Yeah.
right? So I don't expect like them to read my mind now. So I've gotten so comfortable, like, hey, this is it. I said, you talk to me that way, I'm out. And like, to me, it's like, just respect me. I'll respect you. I will do my best. I signed an agreement. I'm coming to work and I will perform my best when I'm required to be here. But do not, do not come after me like that.
Yeah.
You need to show me respect. And so when people disrespect people, ah, it just rubs me the wrong way. And like, I already told like my coworker, is our boss right now does not treat her the way she should be treated. He belittles her. And on my second day at this new job, I was like, holy cow, did I make the right decision? He basically told her to shut up in front of me on a
Wild.
call.
Yeah,
And
no.
I was like, no, he did not. Then this is how we became friends though, because then she called me. She's like, hey, I just want to apologize for like what you saw. And I was like, there's no need to apologize. If anything, he should be calling me and apologizing, not you. And if I were you, I would have reacted a lot worse. And so like I told her, I was like, don't ever apologize for that. And so I already told her, like, if he ever dares to do that to me, one, I'm not going to react nicely. And two, he'll have my 2 weeks notice the next day. I don't care. I don't need a job that treats me that way, right? And I think that's a lot of things that like I think affect a person's mental health in the workplace,
Yes.
right? Is their boss thinks they own you and they
Speak on
don't.
it. Speak on it. They do. And the
It's
power, like the power dynamic, like some people really like the power and it like goes
they
to their
do. It's
head and
ridiculous.
it's embarrassing because I'm like, sometimes like, I'm like, does that mean that you don't have any control anywhere else? Like, that's just where my mind goes. It's like, why are you so like this? Like, do you feel like you don't have any control over anything else in your life? And so you want to like control this situation? Like, are you deeply upset? We got to be honest, like some people are just miserable and like misery loves company. And so like that's a thing. I have had a miserable boss before, not the one that I have right now. I really like my boss right now. I actually really like my job right now. So not the one that I have right now, but the previous one, I actually had to request a different manager because she was like just a terror. And it was just like, what is the issue here? Like she started off like nice, like, you know, like she wanted to be chill or whatever. And then it like became like this thing where it was like I had like this energy around her where I was just like I don't want to like I don't want to mess up because then I don't want to have to like have this conversation with her. But it would be like little things. And this is the reason why I like went to therapy because I was like, am I crazy? Um I was experiencing like microaggressions from her, which I had never experienced before in a workplace before. And it was just like little things. Like, what did she say to me one time? She was like, oh, you know, I really like your hair like that. And I was just like, bro, what? Like, first of all, didn't nobody ask? Second of all, like, whatever. Like, so it was like little things where I'm just like, am I being sensitive? Or like, is this like really a problem? And then one day it like came to a head. Ready, Aileen? This is actually
Tell me,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was at this point I just didn't care anymore. And like that's kind of what happens. I think like you can only push someone so far until like they just don't care anymore. And that's what happened to me. So one day, um backstory, don't ever sign up for extracurriculars at work. Don't ever do it. It's like don't do that to yourself. I did that. I was like, ooh, I really want to plan like the holiday party or whatever, like at work. Cause I love a little
hmm
party. I love a little decoration moment or whatever. So I was on the party committee,
don't we all?
right? Like I was like, this is gonna be so fire. And then it was cute because it's like if you plan the party, then like you can spend the whole day planning the party. So like you don't have to work that day basically because you're planning the party or like decorating or whatever.
hmm
And so I really liked it until one day I think it was like a Mardi Gras party or something like that. And I was on like the committee with like three other girls, and I'm supposed to be working, and then I'm supposed to go to this holiday party after work, right? And so I am like, maybe my office was maybe like 30, 45 minutes away from where the party was going to be. I was on site at a different client's like site, and I get a text message from my manager. Also, never again will I have my personal device and my work device be the same thing. Like, no, I need separation. That's too much for me.
Yeah.
And so she texts me and she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like finishing up work. Like, what's the issue? And she's like, "Well, we need you here." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm on my way. Like, what's the issue?" And so I get there and she's like upset. And I'm like, like, what is your issue? I don't know. The party happens, whatever. It looks great. Next day, we have a conversation and power trip. She was like, I needed you here like on time yesterday. Like, you're throwing this party, like, you need to be here. And I was like, okay, well, I had actual work. Aileen, I want you to hear what she's telling me. She's saying, you don't need to work, right? Like, I know you had work for a client. You needed to be here to decorate this place for a work party. And I was like, I really don't think that that should be the priority right now. Like, are you serious? Like, there are three other girls, I don't know, whatever, planning this party that were here. You don't need me here. Turns into like this whole thing. She like basically was like, okay, well, you need to, like, when I tell you to do something, basically, like, that's like what you need to do. And I was like, okay, well, good luck with that. Turns into a conversation about like the way that I dress at work. She's like, the things that you wear are inappropriate. This entire conversation, I was just like, bro, what's happening right now? She's like, the things that you're wearing are inappropriate. Like, you should really consider. And I was like, what, like, am I not following the dress code? Because like, where's the dress code written that says that I can't wear platform shoes? Where, like, they're closed-toed shoes. It says that it has to be closed-toed. I'm 5'2", ma'am. I am close to the ground. I can wear platform shoes. And so turns into this whole thing. That was our one-on-one meeting. We usually have a one-on-one meeting, right? And so I leave. And normally this is like also right before COVID. So like, I know this was actually maybe like the day before COVID. So this is like March 19th or something like that. Or March, I don't know. Yeah, it was probably March 19th because didn't COVID happen March 20th? Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere
All
around
right.
there.
So wouldn't you believe March 19th? And so we got into that fight and she texts me. Mind you, I left the office probably at like 6 o'clock. Left the office. I'm on the freeway and I see a text message from her. Why am I texting and driving? I can't explain, but not the point. So I get home. I get home and she's like, what time will you be in the office tomorrow? And I was like, oh, I usually get there at like 10. And she was like, that's too late. Be here at 9. I was like, why? Like, I usually get to the office at 10. She was like, we need to have a one-on-one. And I was like, we just had a one-on-one. What are you talking about? And I wish I still had the screenshot, but let me tell you what happened. Because mistakes were made on my behalf. And I realized that, and that's fine. But at that point, I just really didn't care. So she was like, basically like, Jade, be here at 9 a.m. And I was just like, I'm not coming, right? I screenshot it to send it to my cousin because I'm like, she's tripping. Aileen, I sent the screenshot to her. And this, this lady, first of all, hold on. The thing is, like, why am I talking to this lady at 7 p.m.? And so, like, I was just like, oh, Jade, dang. And so I do what everyone does. And I try to, like, turn off my, like, service so that it won't send, right? It's sent. And she's like, Jade, this is against like work, whatever. Like, this is against like work policy. You're not allowed to screenshot what I'm saying, all this stuff. And I just stopped replying back to her. She was like, be here at 9 a.m. We need to talk. Wouldn't you believe I got there at 10:30? I said, yeah, I was like, I got there at 10:30. She was not there. The next day was lockdown. I was just like, oh, well, too bad. So sad. So she was like, honestly, I was avoiding her. Because I mean, I didn't have to see her. She was like afraid to talk to me at some point because I was just like, every time she would talk to me, like it was like she wanted to get a reaction out of me, and at that point, I was just like so tired that I was just like, I give up. I don't do it anymore. She wasn't a great leader. She was like actually a hater. Josie, if you're listening to this, I hope that you have the day that you deserve. And so I had to request a different manager. And the way that like I had to request it, I didn't even put in like the racism that I experienced with her. I was just like, it's just not good for like my mental health. Me and my therapist, I literally said this to like the person that I had to explain why I was requesting a new manager. I was like, me and my therapist agree that this lady is not good for my mental health. And they were like, okay, bet. So I got a new manager and he was swell. He was unproblematic, but the entire time at that position was so terrible for my mental health because it was also like I'm in therapy learning like my coping mechanisms and like how to deal and how to talk to people, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to set these boundaries. And then it's one thing for you to set a boundary, it's another thing for a person to just completely obliterate the boundary. So like I'm setting this boundary of like, oh, I can't talk past like 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. or whatever like that. And then they're like, no, you need to. And then it's like, okay, well, what, like, my therapist said all I had to do was set the boundary. They didn't say I was going to have to, like, defend it. Like, and so that was overwhelming. And that's what it was like working there. It was like I was working through, like, how to have, like, work-life balance and, like, how to, like, set boundaries and stuff like that. And they didn't care. Like, they, like, were actually really terrible about it. And I was just like, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to like have like a good mental health situation? And y'all are rocking me like so bad. So let me tell you, because you told us like when you started like looking for a new job. Let me tell you when I started, because you would have thought it would have been then, but no. So these people stressed me out so bad, Aileen, that I was having like panic attacks. I mean, this was during COVID. So like my mental health was kind of already sitting on bricks, but it was this job. It was this job. And I had one coworker that like, I swear she should have paid my entire therapy bill because like half of my therapy was spent like working through how to deal with this person. And she meant well, and I know she did, but it was just like, it was just not good for my mental health at that point. Anyways, and so one day they were like, oh, Jade, we want you to go do like a site walk, okay? A simple site walk. In EHS, it's not that bad, like, but am I in EHS?
Right.
At that point, no, I wasn't. Yes, I
No.
was employed by an EHS consultant, whatever, but that was not the field that I was in. And I specifically did not choose that field because I really am honestly one of the most reckless people you'll ever meet. You saw me on the roof. Like, come on, like be for real. And so I understand how to stay in my lane. And so one day they were like, Jade, we need you to go do this site walk. And I was like, I work remotely. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's still the pandemic. You want me to go do a site walk? Like, that's for other people. That's not for me. And so they were like, you need to go. Like, you're the only option. You have to go. Stressed me out so much. And Aileen, I did not want to go. And this lady was so aggressive with it. Like, she was like, I need your help. I was like, I never said that I was going to help you. Like, what's going on? So anyways, I pull up to this site walk with this miserable lady. And I was just like, okay, like, show me what you need me to do. So we're walking around. She shows me. And I was like, I mean, if you want me to do this site walk, like, you might need to have someone do it after me, to be honest with you, but fine, whatever. So I do it, and I was so mad because I didn't want to do it. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
Mhm.
And it I got so upset that I had to do something that I specifically said, like, no, I'm not doing this. And she obliterated my boundary of being like, I don't want to do it. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I'm not going to do it well, type of situation. And so yeah, so I was so upset that this lady like completely obliterated my boundaries, and I was just mad and I was fuming at it, and it gave me high blood pressure. Okay. So like my mom is a nurse, and so like she like can take my blood pressure and stuff. And so I like came to her, I was like, Mom, like my heart is like racing, and it's been like racing for like a couple of days. And she's like, let's like take your blood pressure, because she had like the little blood pressure thing. And she took it, and she was like, oh my God, you need to like sit down. You need to lay down. Like, are you okay? Like, it was so high. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I don't know. And so I took a day off. Like, I took a mental health day off, and I calmed down. And then the next day, I like got a message from this lady, immediately, like my heart rate went right back up. And I was like, you know what? It was such an unsafe heart rate for me to like keep that I was like, I'm at that point, I was like, I might have a heart attack. Like this, this job is going to give me a heart
Right.
attack. And I'm too young to go out like this. Like, this is such a simple way for me to go out. I'm not doing it like this. And so at that point,
Mm.
I was like, it's really either me or this job. And so I was like, I have to dip. And if I didn't, this is when I like booked the whole Portugal trip. It's like the whole thing. But I knew that like I took a month off because I was like, I need to decompress and like get my life together. But I knew once I got back from that trip, I was going to quit if I had a job lined up or not. So like that was what it was. And
Yeah.
luckily I did have a job lined up, but sometimes like you cannot live, like I said, you only get one body, you get one life. Like I was like, these people are ruining my life and they don't even care. And like they will keep going until I literally am in the hospital. And then like it's not like their health insurance is like super amazing anyway either. So yeah, I was like, I gotta go.
Right. And I think that's something that is so important that you're talking about is you're 100% right. We are the most important thing. We only have one body, we have one life to live, right? Why do we sacrifice ourselves, our mental health, and everything for a career? And this is one thing that I really want everyone to kind of think about and work on is really sit down and think about what your
Yeah.
boundaries are. Where are you willing to go to and what is unacceptable, right? And write them down and they're hard boundaries and have that conversation, right? With your employer, like, I can't do this, I can't do that, right? I'm here at a site right now where they're throwing all this work at this one lady, and she's like, this is not my job. Like, why is everyone giving it to me? And I literally told her, like, I hope that she does do this, right? Because I like her and I think she would be a good asset to work with. But I I see that she's struggling, right? And I told her, you need to have a conversation with them and say, listen, I'm willing to do this and this, but the rest of it's not on me.
Yeah.
Pick someone else, right? And she needs to establish those boundaries, but I think everyone does. Everyone works so hard. I see people that are like on calls till 10 p.m. at night and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like, put up a boundary and have those conversations. Like, you can't have it could be anything, like as crazy as mine. You yell at me, I'm out. You need to respect me, right? If there's disrespect, I'm done. Because honestly, there's always gonna be another job. There's gonna be somewhere else that you can go. The no job is worth you sacrificing your health in any way
Yeah.
or yourself.
Agreed.
So
And I feel very I don't want to say privileged because I don't feel like it should be a privilege to work at a job that respects your mental health, but like I feel grateful, I feel like is the word. That's yeah. That now like I'm at a job and they respect my boundaries. Like I can say like, oh, I'm I'm not working past 5 p.m. I close my laptop at 5 p.m. and no one looks at me crazy. Like no one's like, Jade, you're like off your rocker. They're like, yeah, yeah, and as you should. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that type of energy, and
right.
it's really nice to be around people that like respect your boundaries, especially work wise, because it's like you do spend a lot of time at work. Actually, I was googling it. How much you spend 1/3 of your life at work? I think it was like 90,000 hours are spent working. And so that's a lot of your life. And
Yeah.
to be around people that don't respect your boundaries and don't care about your health is really crazy. So at the very least, you need to be the person that cares about your health and like protects it. Cause I mean, if you don't protect it, no one, like Aileen said, they can't read your mind. And one thing I do hate, like you're good at like speaking up, it takes me a minute. Like I really had to like have a conversation with Tiana and be like, Tiana, this happened. What do I do? And she's like, you're gonna have to communicate your boundaries. I'm like, again? Oh my God. And then we have to like write it
Yes,
out and like
yes.
practice it. It's like, it does not come naturally to me. Like, I really be like, I just wish people wouldn't do things. And then I'm like, okay, Jade, they did it though. So you have to correct them on it because it's really, at this point, it's like either you or them. And now I'm like in a point where like, I'm like, okay, you have to choose you. Because if you don't, you're going to be stressed out. So
Yeah. Nobody else is going to choose you
yeah.
except for you. And I think honestly, Jade, you know me, right? Like you knew me in that internship and that first job I had, right? And honestly, like I was not outspoken at all. I was the most silent person you would ever meet. I would not talk. I was just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Just be quiet and do my job. And it wasn't until like I saw like how people were being treated. I saw some lady that was there for like it must have been like what, 20 years,
Hmm.
25 years? And she would come in trembling from our boss, and you could tell it was affecting her. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I had like the lookout desk. So we would all talk about stuff. And then when she was
What's a
coming,
lookout desk, Aileen?
I
Wait, who
so
are
we
you looking
sat in like
out
a
for?
bullpen.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
like
Okay, no,
our
that's valid. That
boss,
makes sense.
we couldn't be talking. We had to be
Okay.
working, okay? So like I would sit down the hallway so I could see anybody that was coming. So I'd turn my chair around and we were talking. And I would always tell them we could talk about whatever you want, but as soon as I see her, if I start talking about a smoothie, you know she's coming and we're talking about smoothies, right? Or pineapple or fruit, right? I'd be like, yeah, I had an amazing pineapple today. We'd be talking like about something because I needed help, but she wouldn't let me go to get help from people. So I'd be like, yeah, like I need help with this or this. And she'd be like, okay, like, have you considered this, da, da, da. And so she would like help me. And I was new. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I'd be like, so I tried this really sweet pineapple over the weekend in my fruit salad. It was so delicious. Like out of nowhere, and they automatically knew like she was coming. So that was it. And, but I think seeing people like that, I learned quickly, like, I don't want to be like them. And then for me, I communicated that boundary because I knew, and I have trouble confronting people, but I can do it in casual
Hmm.
conversation. So that's how I do it is like if I'm talking to somebody, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, like in my past job, like deal with someone that was really difficult and like I always told myself like I would never put myself in that situation. Like if anyone were to ever yell at me in that way, they're gonna get my 2 weeks notice. Like, and I just make it in a conversation somehow, and I make sure it's communicated because I will not spare if they don't know what it is, right? Like Jade, I don't know your boundaries unless you were to communicate them, right? So I think it's super important to think about them, write them down, and then on top of it is really understanding what they are and then communicating them, no matter how, any way you need to do it, how easy or hard it is so important because if not, it'll be, it'll happen. You'll be upset and they won't know that it's upset you because we all have different types of boundaries. I think it's very important that we clearly define our boundaries and communicate them because the other person or your boss or your leadership team will not know what those boundaries are unless you
Hmm.
communicate them. And they're not at fault for not knowing. Everyone will have different boundaries, right? Yours might be like,
Yeah.
I don't work after 5. Mine might be, you need to respect me. If you yell at me, I'm out. If you show disrespect, no, we don't do that in the workplace. We're all professional, right? We all have a different set of boundaries. And for me, I'm on late calls sometimes, but I flex my time. I might have a 3 hour nap in the middle of the day, but then I know I have to pick back up and work until 8 o'clock at night, right? So it just kind of depends and what works for every individual, right? But it's so important to be clear on those boundaries for your sake and your mental health.
I agree. I 100% agree. And it's something that I have to fight with myself about because I'm like, Jade, properly communicate it. Like you have to. Because then that way, when they do it, like if they do it again, you could be like, no, because I know I told you not to do that. So now I take it as disrespect.
Yep.
And now you're an op, bro. Like you are, because why are you disrespecting my boundaries? That's crazy.
Hmm.
So I completely agree. Properly communicate the boundary. I think it's also important, like for mental health, making sure that you're like taking like a step back and like taking care of yourself.
Hmm.
Like, you know, every now and then hit a little self-care day because like people want to work with happy people. I don't care what anyone says. No one wants to be around like someone that's just like miserable all the time. Like we all have to be here. Like until we figure out a way to not be here, we all have to be here.
Yep.
So like maybe take care of yourself and think of it as you doing it for others. Because if you do take care of yourself, I feel like you're more productive. Like I know like when I like come back from like a little vacation, I'm like, okay, let's get it. Like
Hmm.
well, at first I'm like, what's my password? Like, what's my job again? And then after that, I'm like, okay, now let's get it. Like, type of situation for a little bit, and then I'll be tired again. But that's fine. That's nonetheless. But it is important, I feel like, to take care of yourself for like your mental health at work. Like, you really do have, you are the one that has to protect it, like for real. Because if not, they will walk right on over you. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, they might just be terrible people and they might do it regardless. Like, they might blow through your boundaries, but you know what? At least you tried. And now you can recognize that they don't respect your boundaries and you can do with that information what you will. So, yeah. Any other conversations that you would like to have on this topic, Aileen?
No, I think this is an endless topic. We can talk about so many different experiences we had. And I think me and you have different, I guess they're different experiences, even though we both like graduated from the same college, we both had the same beginning internship.
Yeah.
We have had different experiences all throughout our careers. And I think it's going to go into probably another episode, right? Of our different
Yeah.
experiences and how we kind of exist in a workplace, right? But I think in this one, the biggest thing is to keep it simple, keep it, have your clear boundaries, make sure, just like you said, Jade, make sure you're thinking of yourself, right? They're not thinking about
Yeah.
you. If you die today, they're going to replace you in 2 weeks and have a new
Yeah.
job posting, right? So
100%.
put up your boundaries and communicate them. That is, I think, the biggest
Yeah.
message.
Agreed. Yeah. And take care of yourself because you're the only person. You really are.
Hmm.
And let us not forget it is work. Okay. I understand. Like sometimes I feel like it's so easy to like get wrapped up in work and like the work drama, the work like culture, like I mean, whatever work
100%.
culture is, but like you know what I'm saying? Like you get wrapped up in it and you're like, oh my God, my life revolves around work. At least in America, I feel like it's very easy for you to feel that way, where it's like, I don't know who I am outside of work. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people had to deal with during the pandemic is like, okay, work is not the only thing. Like there's a whole life that you're supposed to be living outside of work. And yeah, it does take up a lot of your time, but it's not your whole life and you're not your job. And like, like I think that also helps with mental health as well, is like being able to step back and be like, all right, this is not who I am. This is what I do to get money. Okay.
Exactly.
Like, let's be super clear. You get paid to be there. You get paid to be around your coworkers. You get paid to answer fan mail. I call emails fan mail now. Um,
I'm gonna
because I'm like,
change
oh my
mine.
God,
I'm gonna say that. I get emails and be like, I have fan mail.
yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so popular. Everybody wants to talk to me. I have so much fan mail that I need to answer. Yeah,
Funny.
that's a nice
I love it. I love
it's
it.
a nice way to trick your brain. Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like it's important for you to be able to step back and be like, okay, this is not my entire life. I do get paid to do this, and outside of work, that is who I am. And I think that really helps with your mental health to be able to make that separation, is like, you had a bad day at work. That's okay. You know what, babe? You did your best, okay? And you got paid to do it. So,
Exactly. And
it
I
is what
think
it
it's
is.
when you're at work, find your true people, right? I think
Yeah.
we all have those key coworkers that really they're there to the end with you, right? They help
Yeah.
you throughout the day. And it's funny because I'm actually reading an email right now, and
Fan
I'm
mail, you're so popular.
a fan mail from my peer in Asia. So I met him twice now. I went to Indonesia for a summit, and now he came out to the US for a visit. And he sent me something that I got to read. It's like a project we're working on. And all I said was, "Hope you're doing well. Um, Thanks for sending this. I'll follow up on it, whatever." That's it. Then he follows up and he's so nice. And I'm like, how nice. He's like, "Thanks for the message, Aileen. It did cheer me up to receive and read your message. Wish you are doing well." And he's like, "As a friend,
Oh.
be reminded to share with me, remember he's in Asia, to share with me your happiness and unhappiness, no matter business or not related. I'm here to work with you continuously." And his name is Thomas. I was like,
Oh,
"Thomas, you're number
that is so
one." I've
cute.
met this guy twice,
Thomas,
but he's on my
he's
nice
your
list.
bestie.
He is.
Yeah.
But
Thomas
it's
is your
like,
bestie. Get him like a cookie or something, because that
send him
he's
a
so
cookie
cute.
to Hong Kong. Thomas is coming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the thing, like, I think there's key people that help you at your job. Like, I don't know what I would do without my coworker here. Like, sometimes I leave a site and she's like, "Oh, how'd the visit go?" I was like, "I'm quitting. This place is freaking wild. These people are insane, blah, blah, blah." And I go off on a rant, right? And she talks me
Hmm.
off the ledge. Like, calm down. It's okay. This job is so easy for you. I was like, "You right, girl. You right." Right. And
Yeah.
so I think you'll find your key people and find them because they're going to help you no matter what. And I think every single job I've had those people, like, our first job, you were one of them, the two Britneys, right? Like,
Oh,
those are the
yeah.
people that got me through that, right? You guys were in
Hmm.
there when I had a crappy day. You're like, "It's okay, Lena, I brought you a churro back," you know? Like,
I was so
and,
out of pocket for the amount of churros that I had on deck. Yes.
but every single job, and like, even my last job, like, I became friends with the finance and quality people, and I'm like, I have nothing to do with them. But I said, they're gonna freaking be my friends. And literally, they became like my little family up north. Like, I would get sick. "Hey, are you okay? Do you need me to bring something? Do you need anything?" Right? They're always checking in
Hmm.
on me. And like, they made me feel like I had a family up there, even though like I was alone. But this is before I knew you had moved back up there. And so
Hmm.
I just felt like, okay, I have my people. And now here, I have my people again. Like, I'm starting to build that. And that is so important, I think. And I think, I don't know, do you experience the same thing? You have your people?
Yeah, I think it's really important. And I think, I hate when people are like, "Oh, like we're like family here." I'm like, "Ooh, okay." But to be honest with you, you do spend a good amount of time with your coworkers. You spend 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I spent 8 hours with my sister. So, yes, to be honest with you, you do. And like, I feel like you do need like a little tribe or something. Like, it's always nice to be able to like be in a little, be in a meeting and be chatting on the side type of situation. Like, you need that person. I have a person that I have two people. And I love them down because I will literally call them. I'll just like, I just need to vent, And they're like, we don't chat because like we don't
Yes,
need the paper
yes,
trail. So
I
it's a
know.
call. And the amount of times that I'm so mad. And they'll just be like, and let it out and let it out. It's okay. It's
Hmm.
okay. And they'll be like, I've experienced that too. So it's nice to be able to do that. Like, I've had one person that I feel like we're very close. She's been like, do you feel this way around men? Like, are they doing this to you too? And it's like, just as women, like it's nice to be able to be like, oh, okay, so I'm not crazy. Like it's nice to know that you're experiencing it too. I thought it was like me in my head being like, am I? So it's nice to have that type of person. I feel like it's important to have like a person for you at work. I feel like it's important to be able to like laugh at work and stuff like that if you can. I also fully understand the people that are like, I don't want to talk to my coworkers at all. I'm here to work and then I'm leaving. That's fine too. Get your bag, get out. That's fine.
Right.
But, and I've done that before where it's like, I'm not talking to y'all. And, you know, you get by, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
And I,
sometimes it's easier to like make a joke and like,
hey,
you
I'm gonna
know,
tell you, 2 weeks ago, I was out here at the same location I am now. I was planning on coming back. And the whole time we were looking at this and we're like, this is wild. And like we had to take like light readings. Me and my coworker, the one that she always talks me off the ledge. We like it was so bad we could just laugh about it. Like we were out there, we were just like busting up laughing in the darkness of these aisles, and I was like, I cannot like, and it was just so funny that like you just have to laugh about it and keep moving on, right? And
yeah,
but like you said, it depends on your personality. Maybe you're an introvert, you don't want to talk to anybody, then cool. Like,
yeah,
but find what works for you because I
yeah.
think it'll help.
And to be clear, I am an introvert. Um, I'm definitely an introvert, but you know, once I feel comfortable, I feel like I come out of my shell a little bit more. And I think, you know, for every great coworker, you have like a little hater coworker, like, you know, so like you just got to find your people, be able to like laugh it off and like, you know, just it's work, you know, like it
Right.
is what it is. Like, unfortunately, we have to do it. So just, you know, I guess get your bag whichever way works for you. That's my final words of wisdom from Jade. I know y'all didn't ask, but like and we never do that. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and drop a gem.
I think,
Drop the final gem.
listen, I think you did a great right there. I think that's the final drop.
Get your bag whichever way works for you. And that's
Yes,
on period. Mhm. Yep.
yes,
Okay, we
yes.
can end it right there then.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope the listeners enjoyed listening. And we hope that you have a good day and a good night. And we hope that you are well. Bye.